Hello. In the last video, we talked about the Splunk Dashboard Studio app, right? So we got a very little introduction about that one, and we also saw like how it differs from the classic way of creating dashboard using the XML and other stuff, correct? So from this video onwards, we will try to get more details about the technical stuff about how we can create dashboards using the Dashboard Studio app, and we will try to explore like what are the different functionalities are available for different kinds of visualizations or data sources, those stuff. So for that, what I'll do is I will be using this TMDB data whatever I used to work with. So if you are following my videos, so we have a TMDB scripted input, so which is basically indexing this movies data into our TMDB underscore index. So, and if you remember, like initially in simple XML we created this particular dashboard, correct? So similar kind of dashboard we will try to create in the Dashboard Studio as well, but look and feel wise maybe we will try to improve it. So for that, what I'll do is I will just click on this create new dashboard in the search and reporting app. If you just come to this dashboard tab, so it will give you an option to create a new dashboard, and if you see there is a small tour about introduction of the new Dashboard Studio, I'll just close it out. So now Splunk is giving us two options, like the classic dashboard as well as Dashboard Studio, which is the new one. So I'll be clicking on this one. Let's say I'll give the title as TMDB dashboard. Okay, and permission you can set it according to your needs, so I'll just keep it private for now. And the layout I'll be choosing it called the absolute layout because it gives more benefit compared to the grid layout. Maybe for grid layout also I will try to create separate videos on that one, but most of the videos we will try to work with the absolute layout itself. So I'll be clicking on create here. Now let us first try to explore what is showing up in the UI level when we'll be using basically this Dashboard Studio. Then maybe we'll be going deeper into the other technical stuff. So if you see like in the top menu option over here, if you just go from the left to right, so this is all the different visualizations, out of the box visualization Dashboard Studio supports. Okay, now the second one is the different inputs. By clicking on this one, just like in our XML Studio, in the XML based dashboard we have that UI and source, right? In the UI you can add lot of inputs or lot of visualizations, similar kind of stuff as well over here. And the third option is you can basically add lot of icons over here. Even you can actually add your own icons over here and add it over here as well. So we will try to explore in future videos as well. From here you can basically draw this ellipse and rectangle and line here in your Dashboard Studio. Now here basically you can add your own image to the Dashboard Studio. Okay, and here by this one you can basically add a text anywhere in your Dashboard Studio as well. Now this is the option for settings and configurations. Now by default, as we have not added anything over here, so this is basically giving us the configuration about this particular canvas. If you see like there is a dotted line over here, correct? So this is nothing but, so if I just close this one out, so this is the nothing but the area where you will be placing your visualization objects over here, or any kind of object which can be visible over here. So this is kind of just think about this one is a canvas and you are drawing something over here. Similar kind of concept. So by default, if I just click on these settings, so it will give you the configurations related to this particular canvas. And if you see like there is a display mode is there based on the canvas width and height. So if you just select the display mode as actual size, so it will only, if you see the canvas size now reduced to this particular size, whatever we are setting up over here, correct? So and if you view also, it will give you the similar kind of width as well. Okay, so width and height as well. But if you just click on fit to width, so it will basically take this whole screen over here. So that's the difference between these two. And here, according to your need, you can basically set the width and height of the canvas. From here, you basically select the background color. So by default is the transparent color if you see it, but you can set any color over here as well. So accordingly, it will change the background color as well over here. So for now, we will just make it as transparent. Now the third option over here is the background image, which is very handy over here. So let's say I just wanted to add one image over here. So you can give either the image URL, or you can basically add image from your directory, local directory as well. Okay, I just added this particular image over here. Now this particular image will be saved internally in a KV store, which I'll show you in the code as well. Now if you see, there is another option called contain, custom, cover and original size. It depends on like what is the size of the image you are basically uploading over here, and based on the canvas size. So if you choose these options over here, so you can set like how the image will be, background image will be displayed on the canvas over here. Okay, either you can set the original size, or you can basically make it as cover or custom size. You can choose from this particular list over here. I think this is very easy to explain over here. And this is the X position and Y position. By default it is 0 by 0. That's why it is basically occupying the full canvas. So if I just give 10 over here, okay, and you can see it from here, like the image is shifted 10 pixels at the X direction over here. Okay, so this is how it works. So I'll just keep 0 by 0 now for now. And there is another option called show title and description. So if you see, like this is my dashboard title and this is my dashboard description, correct? So if I just turn it off, so it will not be shown over here. So sometimes you do not want to show that one as well, so you can do it from here itself. Now this is the dashboard canvas level configuration you can do. So this is the save option by which you can save this particular code. Now let's go to the source and try to see how this particular dashboard definition is structured, because this is important to understand as well. So if I just go to the source, just like our XML dashboard, for the Dashboard Studio, as I told, the default code, or basically the default structure, is JSON based structure over here. Okay, now if you see it, there are 5 main keys over here. One is called visualizations, another is data sources, another is defaults, another is inputs, and layout. So in any dashboard you create in the Dashboard Studio, you will find these 5 main keys over there, and their names are self-explanatory over here. Like visualizations means whatever visualizations we will be adding to our dashboard, it will be saved over there as a JSON format. We will see that. Data sources are new concepts in Dashboard Studio. I would say like it is not new. We can see it in different way. Because in this particular video we will be mainly starting with the data sources first, then we'll moving to visualizations and other stuff. So that time I will show you what data sources are and how to use them. And let me first explain like all the main keys over here. Defaults are the default level configurations which will be applicable to all the visualizations object in this particular dashboard. So that configurations will be stored over here as a default. If you see it, like for each and every search, we are basically adding a query parameter called global time latest and global time earliest. So if I just go back over here, so by default Splunk adds a time picker over here, correct? Time picker input over here. So that time picker earliest and latest value will be by default added to all the searches over there. So that's why it is showing up in the default section over here. We will explore more about this one as well. Now in the inputs key, if you see, like all the inputs will be creating, like the time picker, the drop downs, the multi-select, it will be shown up over here. So currently we have only single input, the time picker. So that's why it is showing up over here. Okay, and in the layout section, basically whatever visualization objects or text field or any kind of image you will be adding to the dashboard, so it will be shown up as a layout over here as well. So once we will be adding more and more, we'll try to see what changes it is making to this one. And if you see it, we just changed the background image with a new image, right? And this is the particular KV store where it is getting stored over here. Okay, as I told. So as I said, like you can use a URL as well. That time this will be a different one. This will be source will be the URL one, but as we uploaded an image over there, so that particular image is stored inside the KV store over here. Okay, and if you see it, like for each and every key, the main keys over here, whatever things we'll be adding it, so everything will have a unique ID over here. Okay, so that using that unique ID, we will be identifying those inputs or visualizations or searches, whatever we have it in this particular way of creating dashboard. So let us start with the data sources, then we will move on to some other stuff. Now, what are the data sources? Now, if we just do a comparison with the XML way of creating dashboard, so over there we create a lot of searches, right, using the search tag. So if I just show you the first dashboard we created with this simple XML for our TMDB app. So if I just go to edit and go to source, so we create this kind of searches, right, using this search tag. So this is nothing but a base search for us. And then this particular base search we referred everywhere in our all the panel level details, right? So this is we call the post process search. Now in the Dashboard Studio, we have the similar kind of concept as well. So here also you can create searches and post process searches or chain searches. It has a new name, but concept wise it is similar. So those things you can directly create from the UI itself. You do not need to come to the source code level and define it. So that's the data source object in our Dashboard Studio. So if I just go over here, so if you see this particular option, this is nothing but the data source. Okay, if you see from here, you can create search, you can basically create a save search, you can basically when you create save search, it will be automatically shown up over here. You can create chain searches as well. Now this particular video, let's concentrate on the base search and chain searches. Maybe next video we will talk about more about the save searches and other stuff. Now whenever we create a data source, so there is a type of the data source. Like if you will see like data ds.search, ds.chain search, or ds.report, or ds.test as well. So whatever we create, what type of search we create, according to that particular type will be saved in the JSON as well. So let us try to do that one. So we will try to do similar stuff. Like in our TMDB dashboard, we have this particular search, right? So let me run this particular search. It's a very simple search. So if I just run this one for last 24 hours, so if I just format it a little bit, so what we are doing, we are basically taking the data from this particular index, then we are just tabling the movie ID, the release date, title, genre ID, original language, title, overview, and popularity. Now genre ID, if you see it, it's a JSON array over here, correct? So that's why we are basically MB expanding this one, so that we will get separate row for the separate genre ID for same movie. So and then we are just basically getting the release year from the release date. That's why you are converting it to epoch, because if I just see the release date over here, so it's in this particular format, right? So I'm just extracting year from here, and then we are just fill nulling it the value over here. So we will try to create the similar search as a base search for our dashboard. Okay, so if I just select create search over here, so you can give a unique name. So you need to make sure all the searches you will be creating in your dashboard all has a unique name. So I'll just name it as base underscore search over here. The similar constraints is also available in the XML Studio, XML dashboard as well. I'm always saying XML Studio. So I'll just give the base search over here. Okay. Now if you see it, as in the default section, we have that this particular global time picker earliest and latest as a query parameter for all the searches. That's why it is showing up over here, like currently using the global time picker input earliest and latest over here. And also whenever you create any object in the Dashboard Studio, where it will be getting reflected, it will show up over here as well. If you see in the usage section, it is going to update 0 visualizations because we still not associated any visualization with this particular search, 0 inputs and 0 chain searches over here. And if you just want to access this particular search level code, you can click on this particular code as well over here. Okay, which we will see it from where it is coming up. Let us first save it. So once I save it, so we create a base search object over here. So if I just go to the source code over here, in the data sources, if you see previously it was empty, correct? So now we created a base search with the name base underscore search over here. This is the particular ID of the base search over here. Now I think one thing I said it wrong. The name could be anything over here, but this particular ID under the data source, for each and every search there is a particular ID which basically the main key for that particular search, which value is all these particular details. So that ID has to be unique throughout the dashboard over here. Okay, so that we need to make sure. And if you see, I was talking about this particular type because we created a simple search, ad hoc search over here, correct, which we will be using as a base search, but it is still a ad hoc search over here currently. So that's why this type is ds.search over here, okay, with this particular query, okay, and whatever name we have given it over here. So that's our data source. So whenever we have created a new search, it is adding to the data source with a unique ID over here. Let's create a chain search over here. So we'll again go back over here. So now we are trying to create a post-process search or chain search, correct? So I'll just click on over here. Now I'll give it a name. So let's say I'll be adding two things. One is a single value and another is a pie chart over here in this particular dashboard today. So I will say single value, VALUE, single value chain search, CS. Okay, now once you want to create the chain search, you need to select the parent search over here. So currently we have only single search, so I'll be basically selecting that base search over here. Once you select that, if you see the SPL you have given for that particular search will be displayed over here. It is not in, you cannot edit it now from here because there is a separate object over here, but you can basically select it from here, values from here. If you want to edit it, you need to go back to this base search object and edit it from there. Okay, so now here I can give the chain search. So for the single value, I wanted to display the number of movies, correct, based on whatever time picker we are selecting over here. So similar stuff, I will just do stats distinct count of ID as movie count Okay, so this will give me the distinct movie IDs, count of distinct movie IDs from this particular TMDB index, correct? If you see, it's still not applied to any visualization input or chain searches, but it itself is a chain search. I'll save it. So we created a base search, we created a chain search over here, correct? So if I just go back to the code again, if you see under data source, so another object has been created now with this unique ID. Now this time the type is ds.chain over here because it's a chain search, because it needs to extend to the base search whatever we have created before. If you see this particular ID, it is referring over here. That's why it is, these two searches are connected over here. Okay, so so this is the concept of chain search or post process search over here. Now here you can basically create another chain search extending this particular chain search as well. So that is possible. I think that till now the second layer. Third layer onwards it is not possible at all. Okay, so we need to keep in mind that one. So let's go back here, and as I was telling you, as we created two searches over here, right? So I can see their codes as well from here. So if I just see it from here, so this particular search, right, the type, the options, the name. So if I just go back and go back to this search and click on this edit option and click on this code, so the same information for this type, the options and name will be displayed over here, so that you will be working with the less code base whenever you will be working, and basically you will be editing the code from here. So that is also you can do it from here. Okay, and see it once we created the chain search from this particular base search, so it is updated this one as well over here, and from here you can select, basically see what are the chain search you are actually referring to this particular base search over here. Okay, so we got an idea about how to create a chain search and how to create a base search over here. And one thing you need to keep in mind, like while creating this base search and chain search, as the similar constraint available in the XML dashboards as well, ideally your base search needs to use a transform command, like something like this tables or stats or something like this one. Okay, because otherwise if you are not using any transforming command over there, there are a lot of issues can happen. Basically either the search may get timed out, or there are some certain kind of event level, like number of events it will process, those restrictions will be applied over there. So I think it is always better to use transforming command over there. If you are not able to use transforming command, at least you should be using the fields command over there. Okay, and in the chain search you should not be referring to any field which are not available in the base search, because anyway first the base search will be running, then the chain searches will be running over there. Correct? Because the main intention behind creating a base search is, like, this particular search will be running once for all the chain searches, then the chain searches will be running based on that output over there. Correct? So that the performance wise it will be little bit better over there. So we got this idea, and let us try to create couple of visualization object over there so that we can use those searches whatever we have created. So from here, first thing I will be creating is a single value. So let's say single value, I'll be using this one. It's single value radial. Now once we added a visualization over here, if you see it, it is asking me for a search. Okay, now as we already created a search over there, so we need to select that particular search over here. So for that, what I will do is I will click on this run and save. Okay, and for here, if I just click on over here, and if you see in the data configuration, we have an option called selecting a search over here, right? So you can click on this cancel. We will just remove it from here, and we will just click on the setup primary data source, and we will be selecting the single value search over here. Okay, so you have two options from here. Either you can basically give the search ad hoc search over there, or you will be selecting from that search you already created over there. Okay, so that you can do it. So single value, as we'll be discussing separately, that's why I'm not discussing the other stuff related to the single value over here. I'm just trying to show you like how you can basically associate a search with a particular visualization over here. And if you see, it's already started displaying the movie count over here, and you can put it anywhere in this particular dashboard. We'll see that in future videos, like how to make it beautiful. But for now, we are just trying to work on the search level, the data source level objects over here. So if I just go back over here, if you see whenever you created this single value, the search_1 object automatically created by Splunk. You can remove that one because we are not going to use that one. So now we are going to add another pie chart over here, correct? So let's say we want to create this one, year wise breakup. Okay, so for that, let us create another chain search. So for chain search, I will write year wise CS. Okay, I will select my parent search as base search again, and I will just write stats count by. So we already basically determining the release year from that release date. So I'll just write down this one, stats count by release year over here. I'll be clicking on save. Okay, so we created another chain search over here now. Now I'll go back over here, and this time I'll select a pie chart over here. Okay, and if you see again, it is asking for the search, but we've already created that one. So I'll be clicking on save. From here, I'll be deleting this one. Now one thing you are seeing it over here, when I am deleting a search from this particular visualization, from the data source itself, the search was not getting deleted. It is just disassociating that particular search from this particular visualization. Okay, that you need to keep in mind. As we already created our post-process search or chain search for this particular data, I'll just select that one from here. Okay, we'll talk more about the pie charts in future videos, but for now we will just keep it as is. Let's make it as separate, and let's make it as same size over here. Okay, we'll make this dashboard beautiful in future videos. Okay, so if I just go back over here now, so in the data source, now again we have another chain search, which is basically the year wise. And if you see this particular search one, which by default comes when we created that particular pie chart, is still there. You can delete it from the source code itself, or you can delete it from the UI as well. It is always better to work in the UI until and unless that particular configuration has to be done from the source code. Okay, so I will not delete it from here. I will delete from the UI itself. Now in the default portion, nothing has been changed. Input portion, nothing has been changed. But in the layout portion, if you see under the structure, now we have couple of items over here, correct? Two visualizations, one for the single value and another for the pie chart over here. Okay, and their corresponding positions. So if I just go back and select this single value, you will see if you just go down and see the code over here. Okay, if you see this particular single value has particular visualization ID, right? So you can see it from here itself. And if you want to make any changes for this particular visualization, you can do it from the here as well. Okay, so hopefully we got a fair idea about how to create this base search and chain searches in the Dashboard Studio. In next video, we'll talk about how to work with the save searches or scheduled reports in the Dashboard Studio as well. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. See you in the next video.